Well, top of the morning there, YouTube. James here again, driving on my way to work. Just my little daily reminder to all to think positively, to try to act positively, to just try to be positive human beings. It all starts with us. Everything starts with us, to better our lives, to better our families' lives, to better our friends' lives, to just make a difference, I know it's kind of overwhelming and hard to think, that's going to change the world or something like that. But realistically, if we could change our worlds, why not? Why not do it? Just just the small things in life, just being a good human being. I mean, it just makes you feel good. It just makes you feel good, and I know we all stumble. We're all imperfect. We make mistakes, I have made more mistakes in my life than, and I thank God every day that He has forgiven me, because I can feel different things as I draw closer to Him, and it's very much a true thing, But yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to be a good human being, just to, you see somebody, if you have an extra dollar, you see somebody that's homeless, give them an extra dollar, what, it's going to break the bank for you, I mean, that dollar could potentially save somebody's life. Maybe somebody's like on death's door and they're like, nobody cares about me, and, nobody pays attention to me, and this and this and this and this, and then that one simple kindness, that one gesture, can completely shape somebody's life. And maybe, God, this thing's bright. Maybe, maybe that'll drastically help somebody. Maybe it'll change somebody's life. Maybe it'll be like, oh, wow, I guess there is still a little spark of humanity here left on this world. Like, it's the little things in life that really add up, and I mean, I've taken so many things for granted in my life, and I've played victim. I've done so much stupid crap that I look at now that I'm just like what the hell, man? Like, where was your head at? Why? What? I've always been something I've always kind of been proud about myself is who I am as a human. Genuinely, I do like to help people and stuff like that, and I've always been like that. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've made a lot of, errors and stuff like that. But that's one thing that I kind of have prided myself on, that I thank God for creating me to be who I am. But, I mean, yeah, it's... We're human beings, we're gonna fail. I've failed more times than I can comprehend. And some of the things I've done in my life, I'm like, dude, you should have died. This was so irresponsible of you. Like, what was going through your mind? Like, you're an idiot, but it's good to acknowledge those things, but it's not good to dwell on them. And that's something that I've been learning, because I dwell on all of my mistakes, like, I lost my wife, and I look at that now, she's remarried now, and I look at it and I'm like, all the failures, I look at the good things too, because I'm not saying that I was a complete failure. I messed up a lot, but, and I dwelled on it, like, but I can't change anything, I can't go back and be like, yeah, hey, like, I've apologized to her, and, for all my stupid things, and I've forgiven her for all the things that she did to me, because she wasn't perfect either. But it's just one of those things that I would think about, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe if I would have done this earlier, in the early years, maybe things would be different. And, now I have to share custody with my children, and it breaks my heart. It just kills me, not seeing my kids, coming home from work and seeing my kids every night, or, getting to hug my wife when I get home, stuff like that. It hurts and it kills me, and like, it's my own fault in a lot of senses, not, and I realize that, but in a lot of senses, yes. And it's just one of those things, you know. You have to acknowledge your mistakes, but don't dwell on them. You know, we're imperfect. You know, we were born into sin, and that's something that I let myself beat myself up about it. I'm like, no, why would you do that, you dummy? Like, and you're still gonna do this anyway, you idiot. You know, and like, I look at it though, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a flawed person. We're human beings. You know, it doesn't mean that you go out and look for it, but if you stumble, you know, like, if you're like, let's say you're trying to be a sober person, you slip up and you're like, yep, I drank. Oh, I better just continue down that path. It's like, no, dust yourself off. Just forgive yourself and say, hey, you know what? I had a moment of weakness. You know, something happened and I slipped up, or, you know, or if you're somebody that's, you know, a sex addict or something, you know, and it's like, yeah, wow, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have slept with that girl last night, or I shouldn't have slept with that guy last night, but I did. You know, doesn't mean that you run and look for those kinds of things intentionally, you know, but even if you do, just, we're human beings, you know. It's just try to contain yourself a little better, you know. Like, that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing with all my my flaws, you know, just having a lot more prayer and just trying to, you know, live by the fruitage of the Spirit. And, you know, self-control is the biggest thing for me. It's always been the biggest thing for me, because I'm very much an extremist in anything I do. If I'm about something, I'm about something. Like, there's nothing that's gonna get in my way about it. I go balls to the wall, as they would say, with it. And unfortunately, I've had a lot of really bad habits and things in my life that I let myself fall into and kept myself there, you know. And now I'm breaking free of these things, you know, making progress on them. And I love the fact that it just makes me feel good, you know. It makes me feel like, you know, I am in control, because I am in control. You're in control. We're all in control. It's just conscious choices that we make. And, you know, I know it's hard. It's hard as hell for me sometimes. You know, all the stuff that's happened in my life over the last 3 years, like, I've experienced more crap in my life in the last 3 years than I have my whole life. Like, when I was 8 years old, I had 2 strokes and I had brain surgery. And the stuff that happened just in the last, you know, since September of 2023. Since September of 2023, the stuff that has happened, you know, has just been beyond terrible. You know, losing my wife, you know, only seeing my kids half the time, seeing my kids cry because they want to spend time with their dad and they want their mom. You know, they still cry about it, you know, sometimes, and it's heartbreaking. You know, my brother passed away. You know, all of my friends and all my family are in a different state. You know, I live up we all moved up to Idaho, you know, from California, and, you know, I don't have really very many friends up here, kind of thing, and which is okay, because I've always kind of been a loner to a point. Like, I have my friends that I've had for like 30 years, and I talk to them all the time, and, you know, I have a lot of friends in California, but up here I don't have really any support system, you know, and it weighs down on me, and I've let it weigh down on me, and felt sorry for myself a lot, and, you know, things like that. And it's one of those things that, you know, we just kind of have to we just have to grow past it, you know. And the way to do it is just to be a better human being, you know. Just acknowledge your flaws. Don't look at yourself like, there's so many people are so high on their own farts, it seems like. They're just like, oh, I'm the king of the world, I'm the queen of the world, everything revolves around me, and da 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 da. It's like, no, it doesn't. Like, it doesn't revolve around me. It doesn't any of you. It's us. It's we're our own worst enemies, you know. Like, I know I'm my own worst enemy, and I'm working on that. I'm working to become my own best friend, you know. That's a better thing to do. But yeah, I mean, everybody acts so high and mighty. We're not, you know. We're flawed people. We need to acknowledge our faults. We need to deep dive and go, hey, yeah, I've been a prick here. I've been a dickhead just over the last 20 years of my life. Tomorrow I'm going to be 42. And since I was old enough to drink, even a little bit before. I started off slow, and then I got pretty heavy into alcohol when I was in my late 20s, and early to late 20s, and all through my 30s, and even into my 40s. And like, I don't drink quite as much as I've been slowing way down on it, and that's really good. But it's just something that I don't even like to do. It's just an escape from reality, and like, I look at it, and instead, like, because my brother passed away from alcoholism, and he'd always be like, oh, I feel so sick, and I'm this and this. And I'm like, dude, I was like, because you're drinking too much, man. And he's like, no, it's not that. He would never acknowledge the fact that he had a drinking problem. It was always something else. It's and with me, I don't do that. I acknowledge it, and I go, yeah, like, I'm an alcoholic to a point, but I'm not an alcoholic. It's weird. Like, I can go either way without it. I'm not one of these people that wakes up and craves alcohol and, oh, I gotta have a drink and this and this and this. I missed that turn again, didn't I? Dang it. But when I drink, I tend to way overdo it, and why I even do it to begin with is beyond me, because I hate it. I really do, and I don't understand why I allow myself. As I'm getting older too, I'm just despising it more and more, and that's a really good thing. That makes me pretty happy, because it's not a good thing. What are you doing, woman? Oh my goodness gracious. I swear some people are retarded. This lady just did a U-turn onto this street to do a U-turn to go back the same direction she was driving. Okay. Anyway, yeah, but I mean, all we can do is just try to be better, like even those things. There's a book that I read that really changed my perspective a lot, and it's called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff. Like, before, a couple of years ago, if somebody did that, I would be like, oh, this moron, da, 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 da. I'd, be all upset about it, and I'd stew over it. Now I'm just like, let it go, whatever. Who knows why that, why somebody did what, what they just did. Who knows? It doesn't matter. It's no, like, oh, But I mean, as being a human, those things will still pop in your mind. You'll still have these weird things, but hey, we're human beings. Like, let's just let them go. Like, it's like we there's weird things, like when it comes to your thoughts and stuff like that you can't control your thoughts. Thoughts just appear. They will pop in your mind, and it is what it is. The thoughts will pop in your mind. You can't control them. However, you can act on them. So you have a stupid thought, like I just acknowledge them. I don't hide from them. I don't run from them. I call them out when if I have a bad thought, and I just go, hey, you're a stupid thought. Get out of my mind. Like, I classify them. I call them Eddie. That's the name of them. And I'll just go away, Eddie. You're a useless thought. Bye. And like, those negative thoughts seem to disappear, and then positive ones will come in, and they'll kind of reinforce your mind, and it's just a good thing, and because I would beat myself, how could I think that, and it's like, well, I'm not consciously trying to think of those things. They're things pop in my head, like, who knows where thoughts come from. They just appear. It doesn't define you. What defines you is your action, and yeah, I've been kind of really, just trying to shape my perspective into something good, into something positive, into something useful, into something that's beneficial for, not only me, but for everybody around me and all the people I care about, mainly, like to better myself for my children, and to better myself for myself, for my friends, for my family. So anyway, enough of all that nonsense. That's noise. it's not nonsense, but hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, I got to get to work right now. I'm pulling up, so yeah, let's try to be good humans, okay? Let's try to be the best people that we can be, and always thank God. Always be grateful for what you have, you know, because you might not have it tomorrow. You might not have your life tomorrow. You never know, you know. So cherish what we have in the moment. God, that sun is bright. I can't see. Yeah, just cherish what we have, and let's live in the moment, and let's just be the best people we can. All right. Thank God and be good humans all. All right. Talk to you later. Bye bye.